dogs for a cause. We'll tell you about one local organization making a difference in the lives of others. Let's all sit down with Waverly Shell Rock girls basketball coach Greg Bonensteiner for a checkup on the Lady Go Hawks season.
And dangerous wind chills this morning with the actual temperature well below zero. We'll tell you how to stay safe in these freezing temperatures.
Happy Friday and Good Morning Waverly.
Good morning, Waverly. I'm Shelby Granath. We bring you sub-zero weather conditions right away this morning. Good morning, Waverly's Kelsey Bemis is braving the elements outside. Kelsey, what's it like out there?
Well, it's freezing, frankly. The actual temperature is about -9, but with the wind chill, it feels like -30. Let's go ahead and take a look at your current conditions right now. Like I said, -9, but with the wind being about 8 miles per hour, it does make it feel like -30-degree wind chill. So do be careful when you're heading outside this morning because it is cold and you might want to warm your car up in advance. I'll go ahead and give you some tips now on how you can stay safe in this cold weather. First, make sure that you aren't outside for a prolonged amount of time. When temperatures get below -25 like we're seeing right now, frostbite can set in within just 1 minute, so do be careful of that. Also, make sure you keep your tank full at all times so that you don't have ice get in your gas tank or in your fuel lines, just to make sure you don't have any car malfunctions there. So also make sure you're watching out for black ice. Try and walk with your toes curled under, and your feet as flat as possible to try to avoid that slipping. Also resist the urge to put those hands in your pockets because it is going to throw off your balance if you do start to slip. And last, for all you moms out there, don't put away that sunscreen just yet. The snow can reflect up to 75% of harmful UV rays. Now, with these cold temperatures this morning, we do have a few school delays. WSR has already had a 2-hour late start. In addition to Janesville is also starting 2 hours late, and Denver students will also be getting in a little late today. All of those were called before 6 p.m. last night because of the expected cold temperatures. Now, road conditions outside, most roads are still partially covered, especially those side roads. Be careful to make sure you're careful on those side roads. Highways are mostly cleared off, but there are some slight areas of slick snow and ice, so just be careful of that. Now we'll head back to Shelby in the studio.
Thank you, Kelsey. The Waverly City Council began their review of the new city budget last Saturday. Attended by about 35 people, the 4-hour-long meeting covered the fund budget worth over $5 million. The new proposed budget includes a small percentage increase per $1,000 taxable valuation. In all, the city receives 59% of the taxes paid on a home. The rest would go to community college, county, and schools. Waverly is one step closer to making a new performance arena a reality. At the City Hall meeting, supporters appeared before the council Monday night in hopes to sign off for the new project. Recent opposition for the new structure in Coleman Park stalled efforts to move forward. The council already voted 5-2 on an architect to draw the final design. The cost is estimated to be nearly $300,000. One Waverly resident will be taking on a new position to service others. Corey Birkenes is the new state director for the Iowa Food Bank Association. Birkenes worked as the director of WSR's United Way for nearly 5 years. The association works to combine efforts with the 8 food banks located in Iowa. Birkenes says he will stay involved with the United Way, but with a new director. A local 12-year-old boy makes one man's trash into another man's treasure. Trevor Agana of Denver has found a new hobby collecting and restoring farm artifacts. The 7th grader recently participated in a Waverly auction as the youngest collector present. If you would like to read the full story, pick up a copy of this week's Waverly Democrat. Coming up next, we'll sit down with Hy-Vee dietitian Jolene Galligan. She's here to test our knowledge about nutrition. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. But just another reminder, Waverly, Shell Rock, Janesville, and Denver schools are all on a 2-hour delay. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Well, going to the grocery store is a daily part of our lives. How much do we actually know about what we are purchasing?
Shelby and I are going to test our knowledge about nutrition this morning. Joining us now to quiz us is Hy-Vee dietitian Jolene Galligan. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So do you have some things for us to guess at here? We can go ahead and try this.
Sure. My first question is, deciding what to eat can be as easy as following your plate as a guide. True or false?
Got yours?
Yep. I said false.
I said true with a smiley face.
It's true. Actually, following our plate as a guide is a great way to kind of monitor how much you eat. Generally, we should have 1/4 of our plate fruit and vegetables, 1/4 of our plate carbohydrates like potato, bread, spaghetti, pasta, or rice, and then the other 1/4 of the plate should be fruit and vegetables, and then lean protein should be the other 1/4. Okay. So pretty much it's half the plate fruit and vegetables, 1/4 protein, and 1/4 carbohydrates.
And is this the general rule for all meals?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good to know. Okay, we ready for the next one?
Sure.
Okay.
Healthy weight individuals generally avoid high-calorie foods such as potato chips, French fries, soda, juice.
I'm going to say all.
I said true.
Again.
Yep, you're both right. It is true. Generally, people that have a, Harvard University did a study, and people that are healthy weight actually do avoid eating those high-calorie foods and only eat them on occasion. Instead, they eat lots of whole grains and fresh fruit and vegetables.
Okay.
My next question is, not getting enough sleep, 6 hours or more a night, can add or contribute to weight gain.
You never get that much. That's the daily recommendation.
I said true.
I said true.
It's true. Studies have found that individuals that don't get enough sleep will crave carbohydrates because we're tired and we think that we're hungry because we're lacking energy, so we want to eat more. So studies have shown if we don't get enough sleep, it can contribute to excess weight gain. So it's really important that we all try to get the 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
Okay. I guess I'd never thought of that before, but that does make sense.
Makes sense.
When we're over here late, I know we start eating things we shouldn't, so makes sense.
Yeah, and then my next question is, February is Heart Health Month, and part of a heart healthy diet, should we be eating 3 ounces of whole grains a day?
I said false. I didn't know.
It's true. Most of us don't always eat enough. We're more, because when we eat out and we're out and about, there's refined carbohydrates like processed foods, white bread, white hamburger, hot dog buns, that kind of thing, that we actually, if we could, should be eating whole grains like whole wheat breads, which means that when you turn it over, it has 3 grams of fiber or more. Brown rice would be a better choice, whole wheat pasta. And the reason it's heart healthy for us, and it's also good for weight control, is because when we eat a fiber-rich diet, it helps aid in our digestion. It actually makes us feel fuller longer, so we eat less. And it also helps pull out some of the cholesterol, so it helps, it's a crucial part of eating heart healthy also.
Okay. I think we have time for about one more question.
One more question? Okay. And my last question is, should we be avoiding bad, quote, foods? The answer is kind of true and false. It's kind of a trick question. I like to say that there isn't such a thing as bad foods, but there's foods that we should eat in moderation. Mm-hmm. What I'd like to say is the high-calorie, high-fat foods should be occasional foods. Sometimes if we totally eliminate foods that we, quote, consider as bad, the high-calorie foods, it kind of increases our cravings, and then we kind of you get deprived. And so a better approach sometimes is to eat a smaller amount. Like say that you really want ice cream. If you eat a processed, artificially something dessert instead, you're not as satisfied, so you might just go out and binge more. So I guess I would recommend eating a small portion of ice cream occasionally, kind of like I like to say the birthday cake idea. We don't eat birthday cake every day. It's occasional food.
Okay, well, hopefully for some of our viewers who had a New Year's resolution to lose weight, this was helpful.
Hopefully. And then what are some of the real quick, the services that Hy-Vee can provide, what can you provide as a dietitian?
I can provide individualized store tours, like based on health condition or just healthy living, weight loss, heart disease, diabetes. I do a lot of public health screenings, like for businesses, wellness type events, food experiences, cooking classes, a whole range of things. Going to health fairs, I do that quite a bit. I know I come to Wartburg's a couple times a year, things like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, find out about one local group that is training dogs for a good cause. Storms left several drivers in ditches and out of power. 6 inches of snow and 30-mile winds were reported from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. A lot of cars, including some semis, were having some trouble navigating the roads. The roads are clearing up, but will they stay that way? Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. First, we can take a look at kind of our current conditions outside, just kind of break that down. Right now, it is about -9 degrees outside, but the wind chill is making it feel like -30. So I was just outside, and those temperatures are freezing. I mean, if you don't need to go outside, don't. But our road conditions are fairly safe outside right now. There's some partially covered roads, things like that. But for the most part, those main roads, those main highways should be cleared off. Just be careful on those side roads and things like that. Now, we do have a few school delays today. We can go ahead and show you those. Waverly Shell Rock does have a 2-hour late start. Janesville also is 2 hours late right now, and then Denver is also 2 hours late as well. Now, those were called before 6 p.m. last night, so I think this just the expected cold temperatures are really what did it. They also had late starts yesterday as well, but they were in school there. So
dangerous for those kids waiting for buses.
Yes, it is definitely dangerous for those kids outside. Probably even getting the buses started, things like that would definitely be difficult in these temperatures. So we can also go ahead and give you some tips for how to stay safe in these cold temperatures. First tip is to make sure that you avoid prolonged time outside. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're outside in temperatures lower than -25 degrees, which is what we are experiencing with that wind chill, frostbite can set in within a minute. Now, I know I didn't have frostbite outside, but I definitely felt those cold temperatures, so I can definitely attest to that. Also, make sure you keep a full tank of gas. You want to avoid getting ice and water in the tank and also in your fuel lines and things like that, just to avoid, the general malfunction of your car and things like that. Watch for black ice. Now, one tip is you can walk with your toes curled under and keep your feet as flat as possible. That'll help so you can keep your balance on those slick roads. Also, you should try and avoid putting your hands in your pockets. I know this is a habit I have when it's cold outside, but that does throw off your balance if you do start to slip. Also, make sure you still use sunscreen in the winter months. It might be even more important because with all this snow, it can reflect about 75% of those UV rays. So snow is especially important then is to put on the sunscreen, which you wouldn't necessarily think of. Taking a look ahead at this weekend, tonight we are expected to get some more snow. There's about an 80% chance of snow tonight, 1 to 2 inches possible. Heading into tomorrow, that snow does decrease. There's about a 30% chance, but we will still see some precipitation. So snow's not going away anytime soon. The high of 22 tomorrow. So warming up from these past 2 days, but it is still going to be chilly. There's also another chance of snow tomorrow night, about a 50% chance. Sunday, slight chance of snow again. Monday, slight chance of snow again. So
Thanks, Kelsey. Now, with over 300,000 veterans diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, the need for assistance dogs is rising.
This week, I found out more about a local organization involved with training and placing dogs that can help these veterans and others in need. Everyone knows dogs are a man's best friend, but what if they can be more than that? If you ask Scott Dewey, they can be.
There's really very little they can't do.
Dewey co-founded a nonprofit business known as Retrieving Freedom. The main focus of the business? To train dogs to assist veterans and autistic children. He says he used to train competition dogs. That is, until he discovered the need for these service dogs.
The costs were getting high. There wasn't enough people training the dogs. And we said, really, it's a no-brainer.
The dogs are trained to do everyday tasks for vets that are disabled or have post-traumatic stress.
They can turn lights on, open and close doors, open and close refrigerators, get items out of the refrigerator, load and unload a dryer to put clothes in, out, put the clothes in the basket. They can answer the door. They can hit all of the handicap accessible buttons throughout different places to open doors for them.
As far as autistic children, the service dogs keep them from running off and have a soothing effect. Dewey says one of the most important things the dogs do is lead their owners to becoming more social.
When you take a dog and put it in the middle of the mix, all of a sudden you're sitting at a park bench and 5, 10, 15 people stop by and say, hey, can I pet your dog? You know, all of a sudden you talk to 10 people that you would have never talked to had that dog not been there.
In the 2 years since starting the business, Dewey says Retrieving Freedom has seen large success.
Oh, the dogs that have placed so far, and even the dogs that are in action getting ready to be placed, the feedback's been spectacular.
He says seeing the impact the dogs have is what makes the job worthwhile.
The most rewarding part is the faces and the people that the dogs help. When children and veterans with disabilities start thriving again and quit worrying about their disability and live more independently, that's the best part of the job.
To support Retrieving Freedom and find out about their upcoming events, visit the website at retrievingfreedom.org.
Coming up next on Good Morning Waverly, I'll sit down with Waverly Shell Rock head girls basketball coach, and he'll join me in the studio along with a player. That's coming up next on Good Morning Waverly. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. The time is currently 6:52. The Waverly Shell Rock girls basketball team was in action on Tuesday night against a struggling Waterloo East team. The Lady Go-Hawks were looking to bounce back from their first loss of the season, a close 44-39 loss to New Hampton. In this one against Waterloo East, the Go-Hawks held the Trojans to just 9 points for the game. That's single digits, folks, 9 points. Senior Afton Fife put 20 points on the board for WSR in a 67-9 win. The girls improved to 16-2 on the year. Joining me now in the studio is Waverly Shell Rock coach Greg Bodensteiner and senior Afton Fife. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So starting the year off 16-2, how does that feel?
You got it.
It's a great start. You know, we have goals that we want to accomplish before the end of the season. We obviously have a long ways to go to reach those goals, but we've put ourselves in a good spot and we're headed in the right direction.
I'm excited because it means like we're doing better than last year, and it just puts us in a good spot, like he said, and getting ready for state. So. Okay.
What were the goals and expectations coming into this year?
I think a couple of things. The first one was we wanted to win a conference championship, which we play at Olwine tonight. With a victory tonight, we can close the door on a conference championship. Part of our early season goals was to have good success early in the year, so when district pairings came out, we would have, I would say a favorable pairing based on our ranking. And then the next one would be to make it to the state tournament.
Other than Afton here, who are some key players for WSR this year?
We have another two seniors, Naomi Phillips and Maddie Gray, who are our three seniors that we have in our starting lineup. And Morgan Neuendorf and Allie Arns are our other two starters.
All right. Who has been the toughest competition so far this year, or are you still going to face them at some point?
I would say New Hampton, just because every time we play them, it's always like, I mean, they're good, but we always just have like this tension between us because we know a lot of the team. But I mean, that's, I think, the hardest.
They definitely played really well when we played New Hampton last week. They've given us some struggles. We obviously have a couple conference games left to close out the year, and then we don't really know where things are going to go. We have a bye in the first round of regionals, so we're not exactly sure who we're going to see based on who wins other games. So we'll have to see who it is. But when it comes tournament time, records don't really matter. Everybody's a tough competition.
Right. Now, Afton, about a month ago, you became the career leader for field goals made and then rebounds. Talk a little bit about those accomplishments.
Well, it was exciting. I mean, my parents and I, we know the family of the kid that actually did have them before. So, I mean, it was an exciting honor and stuff. But, I mean, I couldn't have done it without the team and stuff. I mean, I couldn't have done it without the passing and everything. So, it was exciting.
Coach, talk a little bit about having a player reach those milestones.
It was a pretty cool accomplishment for Afton. Part of it is the fact that she's gotten to play for 4 years, and she's done a really good job for us. The more games you play, obviously, the better chance you have to set those records. But she's done a great job between, her field goal percentage leads the state this year, so that obviously means that she's getting some things done pretty efficiently as well. But it's a cool accomplishment for her, and I think it's also an accomplishment for the team to have a player, make those kind of strides throughout the course of 4 years and set different school records.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and good luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Good Morning Waverly. see what's showing in theaters this weekend, and we'll take a different look on your typical, and it'll take a different look on your typical zombie movie. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Themselves. We're their food source. They are not becoming vegan.
Coming to theaters today is Warm Bodies. This is the latest film in the zombie craze, starring Nicholas Hoult and Teresa Palmer. Warm Bodies puts a new twist on your normal zombie apocalypse movie.
All right, it sounds interesting.
I guess I'm not really into zombie movies, but maybe I'd be interested. Probably not. It's probably not top on my list, but I guess we can see. So,
okay, Warm Bodies, I don't think we'll be having any of that.
No, we definitely won't be seeing any of that tonight. There is actually another chance for snow. There's about an 80% chance for 1 to 2 inches of snow. So tonight, people probably won't be getting out to see that movie. Tomorrow, it is supposed to slow down a little bit. We'll see a high of about 22 degrees. So lower chance of snow, and it's warming up slightly. So we can be thankful that we'll hopefully get out of the snow soon.
Right.
So, hopefully,
or the cold weather, even just the wind chill. The wind chill is the worst.
Yeah, especially outside it's negative 30-degree wind chill. So,
yeah, that's all the time we have for this morning. Be sure to tune in Monday night at 8 for WTV News and Tuesday at 8 for an all-new sports night.
And we'll be right back next week with more GMW. Have a good day, Waverly.